rode out of Jindabyne, which in the traditional language of the area means valley. I was heading north to meet up with my mate Dave the Craftsman to take photos for him of his new creations and also where he sources his timber from. He mentioned that there was a dirt track along a river in the area I was going to pass through, and he would send me the details. I decided to head towards a free campsite I'd found on Wikicamps on the side of the Araluen Creek, as it was already late in the afternoon and I wouldn't be able to make it all the way to where Dave was with the amount of daylight left. Now that's a random place for a sculpture. I came to an area that looked like it was where they had taken the photo for the Microsoft desktop image from back in the day. Absolutely stunning rolling green hills and big, beautiful skies. Low clouds started rolling in, or it could be that I was still at a higher elevation. The clouds got thicker and the temperature started to drop. The road turned to dirt. The road was in decent condition, so I went the default dirt road speed limit in Australia, 80 kilometres an hour. A random fact, at last count, there were 426,000 kilometres of unsealed roads running across Australia. Now that's a lot of dirt roads to explore. To my right was Deua National Park, filled with large eucalyptus forests that transition from the high plains down towards the coast, and apparently full of great trails. I may have to explore that next time. I had never heard of this area being known for its beautiful landscapes, but it is just that, beautiful. I wonder, how much do these mailboxes get used these days? I made the turn onto the road that the camp spot was beside. There's something about crossing old wooden bridges. You know you're going down a road that isn't used that much. There's no heavy traffic, and you'll probably end up on a dirt road running beside a creek or stream. I then saw a sign that looked promising. I wound my way down off the high plains along this winding road. I turned off to the place where there was free camping. And that looks as good a place to put a tent as any. Made it to a campground, and before dark, which is always good. Makes it a lot easier. I left at about 7 and now it's just after 6 p.m, so 11 hours on the bike, a few 10-15 minute stops, but otherwise all day riding. Going to set up tent here. It's like a little bit like that Araluen Valley where there's a town that way about 15-20 kilometers and you come down, dropped into that valley. It's pretty cool. I had my suspicions that my mate Dave the Craftsman was telling me about the road and somehow got mixed up. That's a great little windy downhill. It's lots of fun. Probably not the right spike for it. I mean, it did okay, but you get my idea. But I think he said dirt. I may have assumed wrong. We'll find out. See if I can find any dirt as I head up towards Berry in the morning to meet up with Dave. And he's getting some wood or something. Timber, sorry. Shouldn't call it wood. It's timber when a craftsman uses it, apparently. Anyway, I'm going to get set up and try and find something to eat. With the gear and tent set up, I thought I'd go and check out this little stream just behind the campsite. I have no idea what this place is called. I'll put up a name. This is the sort of place you'd probably find yabbies. Water's not cold, quite pleasant. If it was deep enough, almost get in and swim. It's probably only 2 to 3 inches. Oh, it's probably 4 over there. I'm definitely favouring the tin salmon over the tin tuna. It's surprising how little you really need to survive. Well, that was a pretty good day. 3 dirt sections and a lot of fun. Limestone road was pretty plush, smooth, easy, good condition. Even a beginner onto dirt would have a lot of fun on that. The next one was it Snowy River Road, which turns into Barry Way. That, not hard at all, just a lot of potholes. Once you cross into New South Wales. And then coming down off from Jindabyne was, just cool, cruisy fun. And I found a little, actually it's quite big. No one here, but it is you could probably fit 50, 100 people or campers in here. Campsites. It was 11 hours, so I am feeling a little just drained. So tomorrow I'll head up to near Berry where Dave the Craftsman will be getting his something about timber, something. We'll go and find out and then take some photos, and then I'll be able to plan where I'm going next. Probably a bit north, maybe west of Sydney. We'll find out. And on that thought, I got into the tent and went to bed. Morning. Well, today we're off to visit Dave the Craftsman. But first, he gave me that trail yesterday that he said was good. Wasn't sure exactly where it was, but I think I've worked it out. It starts at the town just up here and then heads to the coast. It does go a little south, but that doesn't matter if it's worth it. He says it's good. We will find out. Not one to let an opportunity pass, I got rid of all my rubbish. From the information Dave had given me, I'd worked out how to create a route along this next track. I was surprised how easy it was on the Gaia app. Yes, I was looking to see if there might be an opportunity for an image. So I pulled over and, well, there was. There was also a horse doing its best to keep the lawn tidy. The GPX file had me going straight ahead, and yes, onto the dirt. This valley has quite a colourful history. Araluen was once the most famous gold town in New South Wales. The road was cut in 1848. By 1851, there were 15,000 prospectors in the Araluen Valley. By 1852, an estimated 100,000 ounces, or 2,830 kilos of gold, had been successfully mined out of the valley. By 1860, the valley had over 26 hotels, 20 butcher shops, churches, general stores, blacksmiths and bakers. Not surprisingly, the discovery of gold and the problems of taking gold out of the valley due to the narrow winding roads led to the proliferation of bushrangers. The most famous in the local area were the Clark brothers, Thomas and John, who formed the Clark Gang. They caused havoc for several years, which led to a party from Sydney being sent to capture them in January 1867. But they were murdered and a reward of £5,000 was offered for the capture of the Clark Gang. Then in March, a force of experienced police was sent with an Aboriginal tracker, and on the 27th of April, after a gunfight, they were captured. With a list of 100 charges between them and the suspected murder of at least 6 people, the Clark brothers were executed on the 25th of June 1867 in Sydney. The execution effectively ended organised bushranging in New South Wales. The valley also had other issues. In 1860, the area was hit by devastating floods. The creek grew to over 1,000 metres wide and the loss of life was heavy. In one case, a hotel and all its occupants were swept away, and the bodies of several of those in the building were found on the beach at Maruya, nearly 50 kilometres away. In more recent times, the valley was hit by the 2019-2020 summer bushfires and 9 natural disaster floods and storms that followed, causing damage on an unprecedented scale and significantly affected the Araluen Road community. They have been rebuilding and repairing ever since. Finally made it to the coast. Just pulled over off the highway to stretch the legs a bit and just check that everything is still strapped on. A little bit of rattling going on that trail. And yeah, that trail, Dave, well done. That was a lot of fun. Not hard, just easy, cruisy, windy. Yeah, lots of fun and pretty. That river was quite nice. Sort of thing this bike really does in its stride. I mean, you can push it a lot further, but that was just a bit of everything. All right, north and onwards to Dave. I messaged him. We'll see if he responds. I continued up the Princes Highway. Now, that's the same idea, just at a more leisurely pace. I rode through Ulladulla, the only left-hand surf point break on the east coast. I looked down and noticed the fuel gauge was past the empty line. With no fuel station in sight, I pulled over. I'm glad I noticed I was past the E on empty. Yeah, I didn't want to have to pull over on the side of the highway. At least I got somewhere shady to pull over. I've got some fuel in the side can, so I'll do that and then get to a fuel station eventually. Turned off the highway and headed up into the southern highlands. Well, there's an interesting sign. Buses, trucks and long vehicles not allowed on this road can only mean one thing. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I found Dave up in the mountains, sending me on this wild goose chase, or turkey chase. Dave.
G'day. Again.
So what are you doing, Dave?
I secured an enormous amount of timber. This farm that we're on, it's up in Robertson, Southern Highlands. And they cut down 1.5 kilometres of timber. These used to be the rails on fencing, and they've upgraded it with metal. So I've taken it, and I'm currently taking it in. There's a couple of us with trucks taking it down the hill. I'm taking it down to another location a little bit closer to the water. So I got a little bit ambitious with this one and overloaded the trailer, and I came up to get up that hill and it wouldn't go, so I got offloaded.
That reminds me of me 2 or 3 days ago. Overloading cars or bikes, not getting up hills.
When you got a truck that's filled with a ton of timber and you're taking a trailer with a ton of timber, well, probably not quite a ton, and you're going down in first and you're hoping like nothing else that your brakes hold on. Yeah, I'd prefer not to do too many of those runs.
And Dave got a new friend since last time I saw him. That would be Hunter. Hey, Hunter. And this is what's making all the noise. Let's have an argument with the ducks. Got some shots for Dave and helped him with some wood. But now I head up to his place, just up the highway into the dreaded Sydney. Not far to go till I get to rest a bit. I made my way down from the highlands. I came across one of those really annoying people who drive super slow. Dave. My bike's taking some of the workshop space because I followed Dave around with the camera for a bit, taking photos while he did his thing. So we've taken some photos with Dave and he's just going to show me his new box. I'll call it a box.
This is a new shoe cabinet that I'm making, made fully out of reclaimed timber. The client wanted to be able to store a bunch of shoes, obviously, but also had like a number of boots, 2 or 3 pairs of boots. So I've got a bit of a cutout in here so she can put her boots in here. Size 6, it's just custom made for the client. I've put holes in here so that the shoes can breathe. On the front here we've got spotted gum ply and we've got 2 shells in there. And it's probably 95% done and I can't wait to get it out.
So it's always good to see what Dave's working on. One day I might actually get a piece. I need somewhere to put it though. Anyway, you can see the weather isn't the best, so it's always good to have somewhere to crash out and wait for it to pass. Hopefully, well, it should be all finished tonight, and then tomorrow we can get back on the road.